Everybody, peace. Welcome to the Sorry to Bother You show. Wherever or however you're listening, we are so grateful to have you here with us. As you guys know, I'm Sean Cottle, and I'm joined as usual by the amazing, the wonderful, the stupendous, the phenomenal, the incredible Mr. Fantastic himself, Dre Pennington.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Sean. Appreciate
I'm
that.
I'm making up for lost time, brother. That's all. That's all. Just making up for
It it,
lost
ha-
time.
it has been a while. It's kind of crazy to think about.
For good reason, though. There's been a lot for good
100%.
reason.
Not bad reasons, guys. We promise we'll explain a little bit right now.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but Sean, how are you feeling?
Oh, uh, physically, I'm feeling great. A little drained because off-season training started earlier this week, or last week,
Mm,
sorry. Spiritually, I'm incredible. Like this is the best space that I've been in. Uh, more intent in my scripture reading and being more intent about the time that I spend with the Most High. So spiritually, I'm great. Mentally, I am I am just copacetic, man. I'm just I'm on cloud nine right now, man. So I'm doing
okay,
great, man.
we're doing big things then.
Dre, I'm just trying to be more intentional about choosing to be happy.
Mm, I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
But Dre,
Um,
how are you feeling, man? Talk to me.
Physically, man, like a six. I gotta get my body right now.
I don't
Gotta
understand
get right.
how you can be 6'4", 225 and be at a six
Not
physically.
225 no more. I gotta lose some weight now. But that's all in due time. So physically I'm just kind of like Mentally I'm at about a 7, 8. You know how the week can just kind of beat you up,
Yes.
but good things, yeah. But good things I feel like are coming. And then spiritually, I'm always gonna say a 10. Shout out to the Most High. He's always there for me, so I appreciate that.
But Dre, I it has been a long time. It's been a couple months, like you said, and
Mhm.
we've had a lot that has happened in the past couple months. Uh, where do we even start, Trey? Talk to me. Where should we start?
Uh, so first thing we're gonna start out with simple, 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 simple.
Okay.
Guys, if you don't know this, we have a champion on our hands. We got a champ. We got our first champ here. We got, and it's not. It ain't me. It
By the
ain't
way,
me.
by the way, guys, I didn't know Trey was about to open up with that. Um,
Somebody here's got to explain a little bit. Somebody, it ain't me, but it's only two of us. But
forgive me, guys. I'm genuinely caught off guard, but yeah, yeah, Dre, I was blessed to be able to win a championship this past season with KK Susanj, over in Montenegro in the Prov B division, and yes, we did win a championship, and we got promoted to the first division.
my boy was out there getting some bucks, throwing some dimes, and on top of that, he got that ring right with it. That's what I love to hear.
See, Dre, now I'm trying to I'm trying to recapture myself, man, because you caught me
All
off
right, all right, all right.
guard.
All right. Here, I'll give you some chance. I'll give you a chance. All right, so guys, so this episode special, we're just gonna recap a little bit. First thing we're gonna do is go over Kashan's historic championship run. The first thing I want to ask is, how was it being in Montenegro?
Oh, great question. First of all, I just want to give a huge shout out to my teammates and the coaching staff and management for KK Susan for bringing me in and treating me like family from day one. Being over there in Montenegro was beautiful, man. So we were right by the beach and bar. We were about a 15-minute walk from the restaurant where we'd eat at, about a 20-minute walk from the facility. Like I said, we're maybe about 2-minute walk from the beach. And being over there, everyone treated me like family and they were very welcoming. And Dre, when we lived in Bournemouth together, and the beach towns can it almost feels like you're in a different like universe because everything just goes at its own pace and it's almost like you're disconnected entirely from the world. And so being over there, I felt disconnected from the rest of the world in terms of like just really being at peace and not having to worry about being blessed to not have to worry about the struggles of what's going on out in the outside world. And it allowed me to be much more focused and locked in. But it was so peaceful over there, man. Everyone's so welcoming and the weather was nice as well. But definitely the people I was surrounded by made everything that much more enjoyable.
All right, that's amazing to hear. Glad to hear that, especially with the sense of like a lot of people don't know when you go to different countries, especially like playing basketball, you don't necessarily have time to yourself. No, actually, not my fault. Take that back. You have too much time to yourself. You don't have time for like you don't know anybody, so you can't necessarily like make a friend other than your teammates. And if you do make a friend, you got to kind of like fit them into your schedule because you're always like what. So so for the people who don't know, can you just kind of explain your schedule a little bit?
Woo. Yeah, yeah. So Dre, you know how it is being a pro hooper. It's either shoot around or lifting or both in the morning, right out the gate, about 8 o'clock in the morning. And then we would go through the shoot around and then go through lifting and we'll be done by about 11. After that, I normally go eat breakfast. And then after that, I would normally take a walk by the beach, enjoy the beautiful sun, the weather. Dude, I'm telling you, the weather was so beautiful. It never got below 50 and it never got above 85. Like it was in that sweet spot right there, 70. I know you're in Minnesota right now, so
Yeah.
you're probably just dying for that weather right now. But
Sir,
dude,
it is 75, 80 here. I don't know what you're talking about.
for 2 times out the year, right? But no, it was no, but I would walk along the beach after eating breakfast, and then I'd have a long break in between, and then we'd have practice again in the evening around 5, 6 o'clock, and then go to practice. And then after that, we would really have the rest of the night to ourselves, the rest of the day to ourselves. So normally I would go eat dinner and then walk along the beach again. And that's the downtime where you get to really reflect and be with your thoughts and be with yourself and really learn how, like, really learn the ins and outs about yourself. But that was my typical schedule during the day.
Yeah. All right. And then, so how was, being on the team? And then, when did you arrive? And can you just kind of walk us through that timeline? Like you got there, you kind of figured out your schedule. And now like how was the first game and like that first practice? Just
Yeah,
those two different questions.
yeah, Dre, that's great. See, this is why you're here, man, because you are the best at at just these questions. But yeah, so I got there in January, and those of you who don't know, the season started in September, so they were already halfway. Tucson was already halfway through the season, and they were in first place. And so going into that environment, I knew that it was going to be different from my previous years in terms of I wasn't going to be able to have the team conform to how I play. I had to conform and fit a role that needed to be filled within that system as opposed to the system fitting around me. And so I had to, mentally prepare myself for that and really be humble myself in that aspect. So when I got into the first practice, it was a huge shift because I'm used to the offense running through me, but here and there in Montenegro, I had to facilitate and basically take a step back so the primary scorers could do what they needed to do. And that was the first time I ever had to do that in my career. And it was difficult at first, especially during the first game. But that's when I realized that there's a difference between being a great player on an average team and like being a great player on a championship level team. You have to be willing to sacrifice. And I think I told you this before, Dre, especially during the season. Like there's levels to it, man. Like, so first you're an average player on an average team. Then you're a great player on an average team. Then you're a good player on a championship team. And then you're a great player on the championship team. And so throughout my career, I had to take those steps to get to where I need to get to. And so I thought that I was good enough to be the best player on the championship level team last year in Luxembourg. But now in hindsight, I was nowhere near ready, especially mentally. Skill wise, I might have been ready, but mentally, I was nowhere close. And being there in Tucson in Montenegro, that's where I developed the mental aspect or the mental toughness that was necessary to be a great player on a championship level team, or even a good player on a championship level team. And it was great because I learned so much and I expanded my game and I really fit into the actual point guard role. And I loved it. I didn't enjoy it at first, like the first game, but like I said, I realized that I needed to fit this role in order to grow as a player, but also in order for this team to be successful.
Yeah. And then, so with that being said, how was the first game and kind of like figuring out your role for that team?
The first game I struggled a little bit. I tried to, like I said, I was coming from a place where I was used to having the offense run through me, and Coach Pedro was telling me, like, listen, you're just you're here to facilitate. We just need you to be a point guard, which is a lot of pressure taken off of me. And so the first game I struggled, but then after that, like I said, learned to buy into the system and realize, hey, this is a great thing going on right here in Susanj. Let me add to it as opposed to taking away. And you add to it by sacrificing. So I had to add to what was going on in Susanj by sacrificing my game, sacrificing what I thought was great for me. But um, it was just beautiful, man, because I actually ended up becoming a better player by buying in and sacrificing my role. Um,
Yeah.
it just felt more meaningful, and I was just so grateful for that, man.
Yeah, I'll say then um so that happening and then where in the season were you just like, okay, I was the last piece that they needed. Oh no, we might have a chance at like making a deep playoff run. Like what game or what moment in the season do you think it was?
Oh, the first game, the first game, I knew right away that we had
Okay.
something special here, and that's why it was. And everyone fit their role perfectly. We all contributed to that championship level season, and we did a great job of keeping each other accountable, and we did a great job of holding ourselves to a standard, man. And there's a certain level of pressure that comes with being being on the verge of winning a championship. And we'll use Bournemouth for example. We love our
Yeah.
guys in Bournemouth, but realistically going into practice, there was never like we subconsciously we might have known that there was no chance of us winning a championship. But over here in Susan, Montenegro, there's a legitimate chance. Like we know we have a great chance of winning a ring, and that pressure comes with you into every practice, into every workout, into every lifting session, and that pressure keeps you accountable. And the pressure can be difficult at first because you might not be used to having that pressure every day. But once you get used to it, it's almost intoxicating and addicting because you love that pressure because it's pushing you towards something greater. And so the it comes down that pressure comes into the details because every little thing matters. You know how it is, right? Every little thing matters. So
Yeah.
how you walk into the gym, how you walk into a workout, how you warm up, how you cool down, even the music you're listening to and how long you're listening to each song. It every little thing matters, man. And making sure you speak to everybody before you step on the court or before you start your workout, before you go into practice. Every little thing matters every single day. And like I said, like paying attention to the details and that like minute space can be draining at first, but once you get used to it, like I said, it's intoxicating and it's
Mm.
addicting.
So it's good to say that you're now like, gotta get another one. I need to get another one. Need to be on another team like that. So then, with that being said, now that you kind of look back on it, look back on everything, do you feel as though this team that you were on, like, were there as many crazy personalities as like the other teams that you've been in the past? Were there any similarities?
we uh we definitely had a unique group of guys, man. But each team that I played on had a unique group of guys, and every team had its special like dynamic that makes it unique. I would say for being here and being in Susan, everyone there was like family. Like there was no animosity. There was no like ego in Montenegro, man. I think that's what I enjoyed most. But that's not to say the other teams I've been on had egos, but you could really feel a sense of everyone everyone is bought in on one goal. And I can't say that for every team that I've been on in the past, but that's not entirely the player's fault. It's just, it could be just like circumstances. But I think when you can see the goal, when everyone can see it, it makes it easier for everyone to buy in. And that's what I felt. It just felt like everyone was bought in and everyone was like family over there. So
Yeah.
it was beautiful, man. Yeah, my teammates over there were phenomenal.
Oh, I love to hear that. I'll say so next thing I want to ask, and I know it's gonna be funny. Any like funny stories in the game in a game that happened?
Yeah, it's funny, but yeah. So there's one game we played, man, and we were down by 20, right? We were down by 20 going into the fourth quarter. We come back, we take the lead, and we got a we have a 3-point lead with 30 seconds left. Sorry. No, sorry. With 2 seconds left, 3-point lead, right? And the we missed the free throw. The other team grabs the rebound, calls a timeout. So the ball is taken up to half court, and we're telling ourselves, okay, don't foul. Just don't foul. Don't foul. Just contest the shot. We'll be okay. And in my mind, thinking, yo, this is a huge win for us. This is exactly why we're a championship level team. Team inbounds the ball. Their player catches it at the top of the key, shoots it. Not only do we foul the shooter hits the 3-point shot off the backboard, and they call a foul. And then they hit the free throw, and we lose by 1 point. Dre, you can laugh about it now, but it was absurd, man. It was one of the craziest finishes I've ever been a part of. But yeah, that was not the best moment, but
That had to be, yeah, I'll say. So I'm guessing to say that everyone was probably like going to the teammate that fouled and was just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, what is going on with you?
but you know what though, Dre? Like that's what I loved about this team. It wasn't a negative response in the locker room. It was more so, all right, we're gonna learn from it. We're gonna bounce back. We'll be okay. And that's what
Yeah.
I loved about that team, man. Like it wasn't no point fingers and no one getting down or talking negatively to other guys. It was a system and we were all there for each other and we were very uplifting and yeah.
Okay. I'll say then another thing that I want to ask too, how was so no one understands like everyone just thinks like, oh, going overseas look like fun. The language barrier also hard. How was like did your coach know English? Like did all your teammates know English as well? Like was it just
Yeah,
kind of like somebody explained it to you?
that's what the Americans, man. We can be so self-centered at times
Very
because we
ignorant.
expect everyone
Ignorant,
to
yeah. We're ignorant.
we expect
It's
everyone
okay.
to speak English, man. But I was blessed to have all my teammates, spoke a, some portion of English, and there was never a point where I was like, "Yo, I have no idea what you just said." So that was a blessing. And my coach spoke English. So I did. There wasn't a big language barrier, but of course, if you were to ask me, did I learn any of the words in Montenegrin? I would say, of course not. But that's because had a great support system where I didn't have to worry about that. But yeah, man. But it's a difficult language to learn, so I was blessed to have guys that spoke English around me.
Okay. All right. So now I gotta ask, what about like championship game?
Mhm.
Um, actually, no. First off, before we get to that,
Okay.
playoff run. How many games do you have to win to get to the championship game?
Man, okay. So the last week of the season, we had to win the last two games in order to secure the championship. And the second to last game played on Monday. Uh we were in this really hostile environment. It was an away game. And it was a team that we had beat only by 5 points early in the season. And we go into there and you could tell everyone's locked in, everyone's serious. And we really fed off the energy of that crowd, man, because like I said, the crowd's really hostile and they're giving out a lot of negative energy. But we fed off of it and we actually ended up winning that game by 20 points. Uh, and we rode that high going into the game on Wednesday, the championship game. So we had to win those last two games in the week. But the feeling, man, going into that championship game is pretty interesting. I talked to you about this before. I talked to you like right after it happened. Normally, you know how guys watch pregame motivational speeches and they,
Yeah.
watch Rocky thing. I didn't do that. In my mind, I already knew we were going to win. That's how confident I was. So I was watching post game championship speeches because I already knew we were going to win. So I wanted to figure out what mental space I should try to be in when that time comes.
Oh,
So, you
that is the most overconfident.
know,
That's the highest form of confidence that you could have in like knowing your team. That's great though.
right. So I got that from this great book called Greatness by David Miller. And he said you should envision your championship parade or championship ceremony and figure out what that is, what that looks like for you. And so basically what he says is, what does it look like 20 minutes before your victory? Envision that moment and feeling. So basically I had to put myself in that space. And when I got to that space, I was like, we're definitely winning. And so I was watching Kobe Bryant's, the old Isaiah Thomas, and LeBron James. I was watching their post-game championship speeches and I was trying to figure out what type of mental space they were in. And all of them had the same mental space, man. And they all said the same thing and they all gave off the same energy. It was a sense of relief, a sense of gratitude, and then a level of excitement of being able to do it again. And I realized, okay, that's the space I'm going to be in after we win this championship. And the gratitude thing was the biggest thing because Dre, my story and where we've come from, where I've come from as well. And it's just a blessing to reflect and think about like how great God is to bring me from where I was to where I am now. And it's really just a reflection of how beautiful he can work in your life and how beautiful the support system can be that he surrounds you with. Uh, but yeah, so that was my mental space going into the championship game, and that's how I got locked in. But yeah, the
My boy was ready. All right. My
yeah,
boy was laser focused. All
laser
right.
focus. Yeah.
And so then I'm guessing the game close.
Yeah, Dre. So, it was closer than probably what it should have been. We were up by 7 going into halftime, and then we we let the lead slip down to 3 going into the fourth quarter, but then we pulled away at the end, ended up winning by about 15, 16, I believe it was 15 points. And I have the ball in my hand and dribbling the clock out. And that first feeling I had when the buzzer sounded, like I said, was relief. Like, oh my gosh, it's done. We did it. All of the hard work paid off, man. And then the second feeling was excitement, like just elation, like none other. And it
Yeah,
was just beautiful, man. Like I said, then the gratitude came in when I saw my dad, because my dad came over to watch the game, and
that's beautiful.
the gratitude came in. So I'm hugging him, and I'm telling him, I love you, and thank you for everything. Thank you for helping me get here. And he's just saying congratulations, man. And I know I want to tell a quick story about my dad. So when we're in the championship ceremony and we're taking pictures with the trophy and everyone's watching, right? And so my dad is taking a picture with me holding the championship trophy. And for those who might follow us on Instagram, you've probably seen the picture already. But I'm holding the trophy, and I'm taking a picture, and I'm telling my dad, "Hey, Dad, hold the trophy, man, hold the trophy. Like, I want you to take a picture of this." And my dad's real smooth, like real casual about everything, man. So like he just has his hand on my shoulder and like he kind of leans in and whispers in my ear, like, "This is your moment, son. I'm not gonna hold the trophy."
No, that's beautiful.
And in that moment, I thought to myself, I hope that one day I can be as good of a dad and as great as a man as my dad is. Because to be in that moment to say, I'm stepping away from this. This is you. I want you to cherish this, man. That's a huge level of gratitude, man, that I hope to get to one day, man. But yeah, I just want to give a shout out to my dad with that story right there.
Yo, shout out to Pops, man. Clap it up, yo. Clap it up. Shout out to Pops because that's one of those moments where it's like only so few many people have
Yeah.
an sense of like winning a championship, but on top of that, like your dad was there and like he 100% was just like, yo, this is yours. This is your moment. I want you to enjoy this. That's beautiful, honestly.
Yeah. And Dre, you know how my dad is like, it was especially when I was younger, like him waking me up at 5:30 in the morning to go to the gym and to work out and him pushing me at that age, it's gratifying to know that all that paid off. And it's gratifying to know that there's more to add to it. It's just beautiful, man, honestly.
Mm. I'll say, and then now with all that happening and all that being said, what can you give me give me a few words to kind of wrap up how that whole like season felt?
Oof. Okay. If I could use three words
Three
to
word?
wrap up
Okay.
the entire season. Gratitude, humility, and service. So
Gratitude, humility, service.
gratitude because obviously we have to remain grateful for everything that we have in this life and gratitude to be in the position just to play professional basketball. Like, Dre, like I was worried that I wouldn't be playing this season because I had signed so late. So just being grateful for every opportunity that you have. And service because it's we have to be of service to others at all times. And really you're of service not only to yourself to others, but also to the most high. And how you treat others is a direct reflection of how your relationship is with the most high. And so if I want the most high to treat me with with to give me grace and give me mercy, I gotta be able to give that same thing towards others, man. And so how can I make other people's day better? And whether that was just speaking to the custodians and the servers at the restaurant, or just holding the doors open for people, or taking pictures with fans, finding ways to be a service, man, really taught me a lot, man. And humility because you're never above reproach. You can always be better. And stepping into this role taught me that, like, when you humble yourself before the Most High, like He rewards you. And I was blessed to be able to humble myself, and the Most High was gracious enough to reward me with this championship, man. So definitely gratitude, humility, and service.
Three beautiful words right there. There we go.
Yeah, but also a little bit of, I'll stick with all these words, but also I wanted to just like tell you something real quick. So as soon as the championship ceremony ended, I'm walking back to the locker room, man, and the moment my foot steps off the court and into the hallway, go to the locker room, my first thought process was, okay, we can do this again. We can do this again. Let's run it back. Let's try to figure out how to run it back. And I think that's a beautiful thing because I told you this. I was worried at first about winning the championship because I was worried that I would have lost that drive and that passion, because something that Katie talked about was that passion, like not being there after he won. And I was worried that I would have that same effect, or that same thing would affect me, that, now that you win, you kind of lose that passion. You don't want to do it anymore. But I was so grateful and I was so excited when that feeling hit of like, okay, I want to do this again. Let's kind of run it back. Because you realize in that moment that failure isn't really an option, because failure isn't even real. It's more of a fallacy. So once you realize it's not real, you tell yourself, what's the worst that can happen? let's just keep running it back. Let's just see if we can do it again. Because even if you don't win a championship again, you have still become a better, not only better basketball player, but also a better individual and a better man because of the standard that's required to chase the championship. And once that thought process enveloped in me, I told myself, listen, look, there is no failure. So what's the worst that can happen when you run it back? Not with the team, but with in terms of chasing
Oh, okay.
championships.
Just in terms of chasing, I was like,
Yes,
"Are you
yes,
trying to tell
yes.
us something
I
right now?" I
wasn't
was
trying
like,
to break
"Oh,
a new. No, no,
all right,
no.
all right." I was just saying, you breaking news right now? What are we
No,
doing here?
no, because some guys, they get a chip and it's like, okay, I'm coasting the rest of my career. No, like let's chase
Yeah,
championships again. So that was the feeling I had. Like, let's do it again. Let's chase that championship again.
never satisfied is kind of what you're getting at. It's
Yeah.
just a constant hunger, constant state of
Hmm.
hunger.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. I'll say, and then I think when you said your dad was there, I think that's like the best thing ever, honestly. Because a lot of people, I feel like they don't get that chance.
Hmm.
So the fact that he was there and you got to share that moment, even though he said it was your moment, you still shared that moment with him. I think is like the ultimate thing. Like I, I think that's huge, honestly.
Thank you, Dre. And and yes, my dad was there, but the beautiful thing about technology is that you can FaceTime and you can, connect with people. Listen, Dre, I called you the night of. I'm like, yo, I'm
Like,
FaceTime with
yo, I'm
you.
kicking it. He was like, yo, I'm kicking it. I said, Sean is kicking it?
Yeah,
What?
right. So
I said, they must have won.
exactly, I'm calling my family, I'm calling you, like people that I'm close with, people that have been with me every step of the way. And though you're you're not near, you're never far. So to know that you guys were with me in my heart and right there with me in spirit, it was just that much rewarding, man. So I was so grateful to have my dad there, like you said as well.
Yeah. I said, and then so any other things that's gonna cap us off well on this segment of our show because
Yeah.
that is kind of giving people the. I know we gave our three words to recap the whole season, but I just want you to give like your finishing statements on like how you're feeling on, just like now after in the off season and like what's kind of to be expected now.
I'm going to apply those same details and the same standard that I had during the season. I'm just going to apply that now. I'm going to apply that now, not only to my off-season training, but also to how I move about in life. And that's the biggest thing right now for off-season training. But obviously, taking care of what we do here at Sorry to Bother You and instilling the same standard and detailed orientation. But also really, I'm serious, man, really being of service to others, man, and just really being grateful, man. Like I told you, man, like when I got home, I took like a week off, and like I never take a week off, man.
Man, never takes a day off. I was shocked.
And it wasn't because yes, I was physically and mentally drained, but also it's more so like really being present in the moment, man. Like I I'll never forget one of my mentors, man, before the championship game, he told me to take lots of pictures. And I get it now. I get why he told me that because you really just want to be there to soak it all in and take pictures. So when you reflect on a couple years from now, you're able to say, wow, that was beautiful. And you're able to really reflect on what that emotional state was because you were so present. And, it's like I said, so instilling those same things, those same details and same mental aspect into the off season and really for the rest of my life, man. Um, that's the big thing going into this off season, man. But I'm just so grateful, man. I can't thank the Most High enough, man. All praises to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh. But it's just so beautiful, man. Seriously, and not to get emotional or anything, but it's just, God is just so good, and seriously, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Him, man. And getting a ring is something that not many players get to say that they've done, and I'm honored to be one of those players that gets to say that. But it won't mean anything if I don't get to serve others in some capacity through this platform. So I'm just so grateful, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
But, speaking of rings, Speaking of rings, Dre, is there anything that you would like to share with the
Yeah,
community?
um,
Not to put you
we
on the
don't
spot or
usually.
anything.
Yeah, 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 no, no, no. Usually we don't put our whole personal lives all out there. Sometimes we do. Guys, I got engaged um to my very beautiful fiance now. It's so weird. It's still like I'm trying to get the hang of like saying it as much now.
Shout out to Maya, man. She's the
My
best.
adopted. Yeah, no, it's like um it's not long, like I wouldn't say long overdue. I feel like it's the perfect time. Um New chapter in my life, new beginnings, new everything. And I'm excited. The process of actually getting a wedding and like that whole thing, getting it kind of right for everybody, or for us and for everybody. That process has been gruesome. I'm not gonna lie to you,
Talk to us a little bit about that process, man. What's something that you've learned so
bro.
far through that process?
Bro, I've realized now that um, weddings are expensive. That's one, but also like finding the right time, getting everyone together, making sure it's not necessarily it's the best time only for you, because for us we're like very big in the family. We want all of our friends and well, I just say family. I don't say realistically friends, because if you're my friend, I really consider you like family.
Yeah.
So just making sure like all of our family has like that's like the perfect time for them. I got friends from across the waters that may be coming. I got friends from across the country that may be coming. I got friends from across the town that may be coming. So it's like follow it, kind of like making sure that all that is like kind of set up. Um, the best thing ever though, and like I said, I don't usually talk about too much like my personal life, is I got to tell my grandmother that I was getting engaged and that we were on the road to get married, and she's like the biggest fan. She's a super fan. She's like, I've been on this team Maya and Dre for the longest, and she's like, cannot wait until like cannot wait until that ceremony. So that was one of the most exciting times, as well as the whole process of like proposing and kind of setting that up. That was a lot.
Yeah, and I know how close you are with your grandmother and how beautiful a relationship that is. I can only imagine how gratifying it was to be able to tell her that news, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we did something that we kind of seen on the tickety talk that everyone kind of get has.
Dre has a
We
TikTok?
faced
What?
we FaceTimed all of our friends and family and just showed them like the ring, and then we kind of got their reaction. I wish we would have recorded every single person's, but
Mhm.
some of these people they were like, please don't do that. And I was like, okay, I got you. We won't record any of this. Sometimes it's better to just live in the moment, like we talk about all the time, and that was one of the
Mhm.
times to be in the moment.
Yeah. So what so since you were really being present in the moment, Dre, how would you describe your emotional state as you're proposing?
Um, I want to say I was kind of nervous, because I was like, not because I didn't think she was gonna say no, but more so just because I'm like, this is new. Like I've never seen this. Like I've never done this before. I hope I never. I know I'll never do it again. So I'm just like, oh god, this is new. This is something different. Like I can't mess this up. I don't want to destroy this moment. Like I want this moment to 100% be like perfect. And as much as I want it to be perfect and like be great, I'm just like, me and her relationship, me and Maya's relationship, we are goofy and funny, and we're not 100% perfect. But it's like that's what made the whole proposal great, is because it's a whole story and it's goofy and funny. And I'll tell it after the day we get married, but not right.
I was, I guess he knew what the next question was about to be
Yeah,
then.
actually, yeah, I can kind of tell it. So we we were at a nice hotel. We went. We basically were drinking all day. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. We went to a winery. We went to a winery, and then on top of the winery, we went to um
what was it? We went to this really nice restaurant to go eat, and we were eating there. We were hanging out, kicking it, and then we had went back to our hotel where they had a hot tub on the roof, and we had like been hanging out there. And then as we were going back to the roof, we went obviously we were going back to our room, a couple more drinks. We were just hanging out, chilling, and then I kind of set down like some diamond earrings, and mine was like, okay, that's funny. Like, where did these come from? I said, first off, why would you ask where did these come from? It's only us two in this room.
Wait, what did she ask you, man?
He said, where did these come from? And I'm like, only the two of us in this room. Where else would these come from?
Hmm.
I'm just gonna ignore that. Uh, but then she was like, "Oh my God, these are beautiful. I love them." And I basically said, like, "Oh, if you love these, I got something else that you would just love." And so I reached in my bag, I pulled out the ring, and I got on one knee. And she was just like shocked because she was like, "I thought this would be the weekend, but I wasn't 100% sure." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Yeah." But essentially she had said yes. And it was just to me, it was one of the best days I've had. It's in my top five best days ever, honestly. Like
Wow.
it was just an overall just great day and just one of those things where I was just like, well, this kind of signifies how we are just as a couple, like
Mhm.
goofy, funny, but just like we're always present in the moment. And it just makes me like know that I'm blessed and I'm happy.
Wow. That's that's beautiful, man. So what's one word you would use to describe once again your emotional state once you heard her say yes?
Um oh, overjoyed.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
I think that's the best word I can describe it. Just the feeling of just being like, she said yes. I was gonna be like running around everywhere, but then I realized it was also 12:30 at night. So I was like, I can't do that. That's probably not the best idea. I get kicked out of this hotel.
That expensive
Yeah.
hotel, yes.
Nice hotel. Not gonna can't do that at all.
I'm not gonna drop the location, but yeah, guys, this was a very luxury
No,
location. No, seriously, yeah, no, it was, and so I'm not gonna. It might be some people that try to, copy you. So I just want to. I'm not gonna share the location for
oh my Lord.
but Dre, what is the best way to give or to explain, I guess, your process and like deciding that okay, this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with.
Um, I basically kind of this is one of the things I think like someone had given me advice and it was like you have a good one when your relationship gets tested. And when he says tested, it could be anything. It could be like he said, death in the family, a financial loss, a loss of job, like anytime where it's just like it feels like a devastating loss.
Mhm.
Um, and that had happened that had happened to us, and like I can just tell that Maya was just like the rock, and she was just like she's like, "Hey, I got you. Don't worry about any of that. Like, don't worry about anything." She's like, "I'm gonna make sure that like I'm gonna help you to make sure we're gonna be okay."
Yeah.
And that's just like one of those feelings where I was just like grateful that I found somebody who like I just feel like I could never replace. Like even
Mm.
in my wildest dreams, like I just felt like no one could ever be as great as she was in that moment. And I was just like, you know what? This is the one for me. This is
Wow.
what
Wow. Dre, I mean that's beautiful, man. And did you ever, I mean, obviously I know you could, but was it surprising for you when you realized that you could, love on that level, man? Because, that's a different level, that's a different type of love. Like, there's love for your parents and for your friends and for your extended family, but that type of love that you're describing right now for for your spouse, for your fiance? Like, did you ever think that you could get to that level, man?
Um, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure if I ever could, and I'm still like kind of learning day by day in this relationship. Like it's still like I don't know when people say like relationships like I don't think anybody will ever say a relationship is easy, maintaining it like or
Mhm.
propose like any of that is easy, but it's like the learning day by day and just being curious about your significant other and fiance is like it's been great, honestly. Like it's one of those things where I'm just like, whoa, all right. For real. Me and Kashawn be talking all the time, and I'll be like, bro, I did not realize this. And he's like, oh, yeah,
It's almost like you're learning something every day, man.
it is. It really is.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna change the subject a little bit. Was it difficult to hide the ring?
Yes, that is though. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That's the hardest thing in the world is to have a ring for I guess however long you want, and to like make sure that it's not found and like the secret isn't given early on. And
Mhm.
I was like, couple steps of the way where I was like, "Ooh, kind of messed up here." But I was like, "But she didn't figure it out. All right, we're good." Um,
Yeah, I
so
already know
like,
what you're about to say. Yeah.
yeah, so like, one of the ones was literally like the traditional thing of like asking the parents, like, could I take your daughter's hand in marriage? And it was like, well, yeah, of course, we love you. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Like, I love that. But then later on, seeing Maya being like, I don't know why. She's like, but I thought you were with my mom and I just wasn't sure if like you guys were all hanging out. And I was like, no, 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 of course not. No, no.
Had to sell it. Had to sell it.
Yeah. Almost gave myself away. Don't know how it happened.
But to be fair though, Maya is one of the most in, in, intelligent people I've ever met. So like she catches on to everything quickly.
Right.
So I can only imagine how difficult it was to hide
You can't plan a birthday party without her trying to figure
that.
it out.
So Dre, what's one piece of advice, man, you would give to young men that are perhaps going through this process of planning an engagement, planning to this proposal?
Um, Figure out what works for you. Like,
Mm,
um, the way we are, we like entertaining people, not necessarily entertaining people. We like family. We like people being around people. We like big groups, like large gatherings. So like that may be something that we like, but for some people, they just love they will want a small, intimate wedding and they will want something small, more intimate. And then like just because people are pressuring you so much to get married at a certain time, if you're not ready, then don't necessarily like jump hard into it. That's probably the worst thing possible. But like at the same time, um, that step, excuse me, you've never been on it, and the person you're with has also never been on it. So it's okay that like you guys are kind of I love the analogy of getting on a roller coaster and it's like ups and downs, like you never know what's gonna happen. Twists and turns, like it's just it kind of just goes everywhere.
yeah,
And you're just like, well, like who can like can you predict it? And you're just like, no, like you don't want the prediction. You really want to like just enjoy the ride.
enjoy the ride. Wow, that's that's beautiful, man. All right,
Okay,
so it's my last question. I promise my last question, man.
I got
W- What would you say is the most important key to not only a happy but also a successful relationship?
you. That one of them is for us is I think for everyone in any relationship I've ever like any couple I've ever talked to is communication. Like it is 100% key. Like that's everything. I don't care if you are like two of the happiest go lucky people in the world. If you guys don't have any type of communication and
Mm,
like sitting down and just like talking and talking through like, what are some things that you like your likes and don't likes, like the like kind of like your triggers or like things that kind of rub you the wrong way that you don't realize. Like when you sit down and you do that, you then realize like, okay, well, I know I got this much closer with the person I'm with just
mm,
because not everybody likes to talk about those things. And that's one of the things where it's just like, okay, well, like that's a kind of a, if you think about it, it's a like a sense of being vulnerable in a way.
mm. That vulnerability, man.
Yeah, like just it's like one of those vulnerability things, conversations. And I think just sitting down, having that type of communication and talking is everything, honestly.
I love her emphasizing that communication aspect, man. But that's also something that you've always been good at, man.
I try, I'm trying, man. I'm getting better every day. I'm trying to get better every day.
Wow, Dre, man, congratulations to you and Maya, man, because that's just the most beautiful thing ever, man. I know you guys are gonna have an amazing rest of your lives together, man.
I think so too.
I feel like we're getting old now, man. Dude, I remember when we first started this thing 4 years ago, and being engaged was something
Not
that
being
was,
thought about.
yeah. But life has a beautiful way of getting us to this point, man. But Dre, what a beautiful episode today, man. What an episode. And by the way, this is our 50th show. This is our 50th
Whoa, hey, hey,
episode.
hey. Would have never known. Who would have thought?
Hey man, that's just how God works, man. Because this being the 50th was not planned, but it's how it works, man. It's how most I wanted it to be. Dre, I think you know what time it is, man. Do you have any shout outs that you want to give, man, before we wrap up?
Yeah, of course. Shout out to my guy, Lord in the Stitch. I always shout him out. It's one of my like I say, family. Shout out to my guy Jimmy Witt as well. He's doing an academy. It's called like you can follow him online. He's actually been a guest on the show as well. And the Witness Academy is up right now. Great academy. He's trying to make it sure it's like free for every kid that gets involved. So
Yes,
if
yes,
anybody would love to like go and donate and or support in any way, please like reach out to us and reach out to
yes,
him as well.
absolutely.
And I think that's it for me. Kashawn, any shout outs for you?
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Oh,
Sorry,
my fault.
I
Shout out
wasn't.
to the fans and shout out to you, Sean. How could I forget that? Shout out to us because we are having great years so far.
I promise, Ray, I wasn't like fishing for that shout out, man. But
No, 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 no. It made me realize I was like, oh, I'm messing up. I got to shout him out. What about you? Any shout outs? Any at all? I know you have 100,000 people that we could.
oh, first of all, before I oh man, it's just good to be back. Yeah, but first, before I say anything, I just want to give a shout out and say thank you to the Most High, man, because we would not be here if not for him. And it's like I said, it's just a blessing and honor to have this platform and to get to do what I love for a living and to work with one of my best friends. And I'm just so grateful, man. And I'm just so honored, man. And God is just so good, man. So first of all, I just want to thank God for that, for this. And yeah, man. So shout out to KK Susange, my team. Shout out to all my teammates for KK Susange, man. I can't name all of them because it's just we don't have that time. But I love you guys, man. Thank you. And shout out to my support system, my family, my close friends, those who have always supported me. And shout out to those who don't support me, who perhaps, wish upon my downfall. Shout out to you guys too, because I love you guys and I'm praying for you guys. And it's always love on this end. And also shout out to the fans, like you said, Dre, because we wouldn't see you laughing. But anyway, shout out to the fans as well because it none of this is possible without them. And it's just such a blessing to have this platform, like I said. And Dre, shout out to you, man. I love you, brother. we are going on, wow, 4.5 years now, and we're continuing to grow. And I wouldn't want to do this with anyone else but you, man. And I love you, brother. And shout out to Maya and you for getting engaged.
Maya got
Wow.
the
How beautiful, man.
Oh, you don't know how much she's about to be like, "Got a shout out, guys. I knew it." Fine. Here we go.
All the nights where we recorded episodes, man, and Maya was just so gracious just to, to give me that
That's
time,
cool.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dre, it's just a exciting feeling, man. And forgive me if I've forgotten anybody, man, but you guys know the feeling, and you know that the appreciation is there. But yeah, Dre, is just like you said, man, we're living a blessed life, man, and we just gotta take it one day at a time. But Dre, man, okay, yeah. Sorry, before we get too emotional, man, that's it for our show for today, guys. Ah, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, on Patreon, and on any streaming service where you can listen to podcasts. We are there. We also, our clothing launch. We have a new clothing. Yes, we just launched the summer 24 clothing line, guys. Be sure to check out our website to get your latest apparel and to rock the newest shirts we have. Wow, Dre, how could I forget that?
That'll be honest with you.
We still got it in there though. And guys, be sure to tune into our YouTube live shows every Tuesday and Thursday at at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And be sure to tune into our Instagram live show every Thursday at 9 p.m. as well. So you can hear Dre give his wonderful takes on the Kansas City Chiefs and
Oh my God,
Golden
this
State Warriors.
we gotta go, guys. This guy's wilding out. This,
Okay.
oh my God.
All right, guys. We'll be back again with another episode, guys. Until then, continue to stay safe, be vigilant, make smart decisions, and peace.